let's actually jump into the drills. So, no, the first drill that I like for my kids to do in order to get them faster in the next 30 days or less is the form march drill. Now, this drill is literally where the kids, they're marching in place. A lot of people call them A marches. I call them form marches, where they literally are running. They really look like they're running. They're just going to march. They keep their arms, elbows locked at a 90-degree angle, get their fingertips to their eye socket, go down to their hip pocket, and keep that elbow locked. If you can imagine that for those who are listening. Fingertips to the eye socket, down to the hip pocket, want to keep their elbow locked, and they want to move those on the same side of their body. Then we want to get their knees up to a 90-degree angle with the foot dorsiflex. That simply just means the foot flat with the toes to the sky. And they're just going to, all right, march in place with that. And if they do that, guys, you can have them do that for about 15 to 20 seconds, do a couple of sets of those, and those will definitely help them with their posture when they're running and teach them how to get their arms up, keeping their knees up, because when the arms do, the knees do, okay? When the arms do, the legs do, all right? And make sure that when they're landing, guys, they're landing on the ball of their foot and they're not landing flat-footed or anything like that. So get them up on the ball of their foot, or AKA the toes, all right? And then when they strike the ground on their toes or the ball of the foot, we say the ball of the foot. You can say toes. Either way, it works for them. If you say toes, it works for them. If you say ball of the foot, they're probably saying, what is that, right? So if you say toes, they'll understand it. And there's no way for them to get all the way up on their tippy toes, because they try to do that, they're going to break all their toes, right? So we don't want them to do that. So we need to get them on the ball of the foot. Just say, get up on your toes and make sure you land on your toes. Now, when they do that, a lot of times they tend to point their toes down, but you don't want them to point them down. Remember to keep them dorsiflex, flat foot, toes to the sky, and as they're landing on the ball of the foot. So the first one was the form marchers, or other people call them A marchers. If you need an example, you can just type that in your YouTubes, and you see an example of that. Or, of course, you can always go grab the Speed Form Fixer program that I have, which is linked down in the description, and that has all the videos of all of the drills that I use to help your kids run faster in 30 days or less. The next drill I really like, that's really going to help them a lot, is we want to start isolating the legs. So isolating the legs is one of the things that is going to help them with their posture and teaching them how to get their knees high and staying up tall, because a lot of kids, they still lean forward when they run, all right? So we don't want them to lean forward. They need to get them to stand up tall, give a big chest, tuck your chin. And one of the ways we do that is we use a drill that I really love, which I call overhead high knees. So in this drill, what we're going to do is, you can take anything, a broomstick, a regular stick, a staff, a baseball bat, anything that's long, not too heavy, something light, that they can put over their head. So they're going to hold this, let's just call it a broomstick for right now. You got a broomstick goes over the head, all right? Hands straight up in the air, holding the broomstick straight up over our head. I don't want the broomstick to be too far forward. I don't want the broomstick to be too far back that I'm leaning back, but it needs to be directly over top of the head, straight up. Arms straight up, elbows locked out, elbows locked, straight over the head. Then what they're going to do is they're going to do high knees. So they're basically going to do a run 10 to 15 yards with their knees up high. You can start them with just high knees straight up, just so they can get their knees up, and then let them go for 10 or 15 yards. All right, holding that or broomstick over their head. We're just going to call it a broomstick for right now. Hold that broomstick over their head, and we're going to do 10 to 15 yards running. Now, what we're looking for in this is for them to be straight up and down, not leaning too far forward, not leaning too far back. Most of the problems that you're going to have is them leaning back. You typically won't see them leaning too far forward. Most of the time you'll see them leaning back. And it's what they're trying to do is they're trying to get their knees up. Now, if you see a kid leaning back, it's because they're trying to get their knees up, and they're trying to use their body to pull their knees up. And what they need to be using is their stomach, their core, to be pulling the knees up, all right? Yes, it will hurt for them. Hurt not as in it's hurting them, but hurt as in they're using the muscle. So it's going to start burning, right? That's the good hurt, the good pain. That's what we want. We want it to burn, right? So if it starts to burn, that's a good thing. And a lot of kids don't want to feel that pain, but they have to feel that in order for them to learn how to do it correctly, or for their body to get used to it doing it correctly. All right. Now, if you followed me for a while, you'll know that I always tell them that we slow things down so that it does burn, so your body gets used to doing it. All right. So we want them to feel that. That's a good thing. We don't want them to be actually hurting. They pull the stomach muscle. No, we want that workout burn. All right. And then once it starts to burn, that's when they need to make sure that they're doing it even better. All right. Make sure that they're holding that form, because that's what's going to be the thing that's going to help them run properly when they start getting tired. They keep their form going. And that's one of the hardest things to teach. That's one of the hardest things for them to do. It's got to come from sheer just will. They have to literally will themselves. They have to want to get better. And a lot of your kids out there, they want to get better. So we have to push them through that threshold of pain, meaning that workout pain, the burning, not actually hurting. There's a difference. We don't want them to hurt as far as having an injury type of hurt. We want them to push through the workout burning sensation pain. So when I say that, please understand that I'm not talking about, if your kid is actually, they're running on, even if their ankle is twisted and hurting, I want them to still run on that hurt ankle. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you've ever lifted weights and you feel that burn while you're lifting weights in your muscles, that's the hurt that I'm talking about. That's the pain that I'm talking about. All right. I know I've said this 3, 4, 5 times in a row, but I want you to understand, because I don't want you to say, Coach Harper says, go out there and let your kid get hurt and have them push through that hurt. No, I want them to push through the workout pain. That's one of the hardest things to teach the kids to do. It has to be a will. They have to have a will to get better. And then you have to let them know, hey, when you feel that hurt, that means you're getting better. All right. Again, not injury hurt, workout hurt. All right, so that's drill. Hands over the head, holding a broomstick, all right, or bat or something similar. Get the high knees up, going for 10 to 15 yards. You can do 3 or 4 sets of those. And then the final drill that I really love, which brings everything together, and it's not necessarily a drill, but what kind of brings everything together is the form runs. Now, what are form runs? They're not just simply high knees. They're actually runs. You actually want them to run using their form. Now, when we do this, we want to slow them down. I know you guys are saying, why do you slow everything down if we're trying to get faster? It's the paradox, baby. That's what happens. You slow them down to get them. You slow them down to speed up. It's like taking a step back so you can go 5 steps forward, right? So we need to slow them down, and it's good to actually slow them down. Again, why? Because when you slow them down and run with the proper form, it hurts. And not injury hurt, but workout burning hurt, pain. So they have to use their core muscles to bring those knees up. They have to stay in line. And it is tough for a lot of kids when they first start it. And as they continue to do it, it'll feel more natural, and they'll start to flow. It's just like one of my kids the kid that I'm working with today inside of my program. He is very good at doing the form. At first it felt weird to him, but now it feels good to him, and I can see how much more powerful he is when he's running. And so it's beautiful. So we're getting ready to start the actual intense sprinting work now, which is going to really enhance what he's doing. So it's going to be great. So form runs, I want you to do them at half speed when they first start. Half speed. Why we want to do them at half speed? Because if we do them at half speed, they got to use the muscles, and they got to push through that workout pain, not injury pain, the workout pain. They got to push through that workout pain to keep their form together. All right. So we have to do that. So I want them to do those at 50%. You can do 2 of them at 50%. And then we want to move up to 75%. Let them run a little bit faster. But the real work comes in at that 50%. You would think the work comes in at the 90, 100%. No, the real work comes in at that 50%. You want to do 2 at 50, 2 at 75%. And depending on where you are in working out, we go 85, and then we could go to 95%. So when I say 85, for me, 50% of their speed, 75% of their speed, 85% of their speed, 95% of their speed. So that's what we want to do to get them ready. We'll go back and forth doing those on each percentage. And then that will really help them start to learn how to run properly and so they can get faster. Now, if you need help with this, guys, I am doing what I call the Virtual Speed Accelerator Boot Camp. In this boot camp, guys, your kids are going to spend four entire weeks with me instructing them and them getting the direct feedback directly from me on how to run properly. It is 4 weeks live with me. And I'll also give you workouts and other things to do when they're not with me. But once 4 weeks live with me, directly giving them feedback, and I can see them. This is the exact same stuff that we do with my one-to-one clients that are virtual with me. You guys can do that exactly with me. Now, virtual, I'm telling you guys, it works so well. And everybody that's in the program right now, the virtual program, is loving it. So you're going to be able to get a chance to get in virtual with me. You got to hurry because we are closing the doors down here very soon. So if you're seeing this, go ahead and click on it now. Even if we're past the time, go ahead and click on it. The wait list will pop up if you missed the enrollment period. But right now, we are enrolling right now, so you can check the date on this. So like I said, even if we are not enrolling, when you click on it, it'll come to a wait list. You click on a wait list, put your information in for the wait list, and then we'll actually send you information for when the next one opens. So we try to open up every month, but right now it's what, October? It's actually October 1st. So 2025. So if you guys are watching this at a later time, then we'll probably still be doing it. So click on the link anyway. We're doing this so right now. So we're going to be starting on October 6th of 2025. And if you end up coming in while we're in session, then the list will be there, and then you'll know when the next session comes up. But for this session, I believe after this session, Thanksgiving, and then we got Christmas coming up, and then New Year. So this session, I don't think we're going to be doing it until January. So get in right now. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. All right. So click the link down. That's down in the description for the Virtual Speed Accelerator Boot Camp. 4 weeks with Coach Harper, getting your kids faster. And if they don't get faster in the 4 weeks, I'll work with them for no extra cost until they do. All right. So go grab that. Go down there, do that. You have to get into I believe it's you get in the queue so you can get on the information call, or it's set up so you can go click in and then set up a call with me, and then we'll talk about it. All right. So with that being said, man, you guys have an amazing day. Remember, everything that you do today affects your future. So remember, tomorrow I'm Coach Harper, and I will talk to you next time.